get over any addiction. So with me personally, like I feel like I have more of like the addictive personality. Like when I be doing something, I get all into it. Like I'm never really like the half done type of person. Like everything I do, like with everything, with school it was the same thing. With let me not over explain or anything like that. But even with smoking, for instance, that was the same thing. What was the do that was like if I open a box of cigarettes right now, I had to make sure that by the end of the day, we're done with them. Like after 2 minutes, another one. After 2 minutes, even with math, like when I used to do math, it would be the same thing. Like as soon as I'd open the bag, I'd make sure that I'm finishing this thing. Like so now, the reason I'm talking about this was because someone asked me on Facebook, like, it was like, how did you end up doing it? Like, because I posted it. Now it was me responding to a post someone made that also he also stopped smoking and was now in the gym, and I was like, yo, cool. That was actually me too. Like, I actually had to go through the same thing. So I was basically explaining to him that's like, yo, when he said that, it was like you basically telling my story because I had to go through the same thing. And then there was a comment. The dude was like, yo, how did you do that? So this is me actually trying to respond to that on my video. So stay tuned. So for me personally, fam, what I feel like is the best way to deal with addictions and all these kinds of stuff. For me personally, I found out that what works. We're gonna get to the other steps, but these are the two pillars of getting over any addiction. The first thing that I found for myself that worked for me, in fact, that worked for most of the people that managed to get through those addictions. The first thing was that you kind of have to replace that thing. The best way to deal with a habit, like the best way to get rid of a habit, is to replace that habit. Otherwise, when the time comes, like the time you normally do that bad habit, that said habit comes, like it's kind of like muscle memory. Like right now, you already have your daily routine. You know that in the morning you wake up, you brush your teeth, you do this, you do that. Even when the script changes, even when you go to another place or you change location, it's already embedded into your mind that as soon as we wake up, we brush our teeth, we do our bed, we do this. So the best way to get rid of that habit is to replace it because I feel like in a way there's a slot for it. Now, if you just take it out, it's kind of like when you see those those addicts, maybe when they take addicts to rehab or something like that. Every time they take them to rehab, as soon as they get back, the first thing they do, go back to that smoking routine because it's a routine. It's something they already used to. It's something embedded into them. They like it's familiar to them. We normally go back to like as humans when every time we reach into an unknown place, what we tend to go for is something like that feels what's the word I'm looking like something that feels routine, that feels normal, that feels safe or usual to us. So even with you, you have to look at that. The reason you are doing that bad habit is because it's already deep into your routine. You know that at such a time, you meet your friends, then you smoke. At such a time, you start doom scrolling. At such a time, you go into the hub and watch the videos and bust one off. Now, for that, with me even personally, the thing I do to stop the smoking immediately, like I drafted my new routine. Let's say like I knew that it wasn't like nothing perfect or anything professional looking, but I just told myself that every day I'd start working out. It wasn't like me, I didn't even know any work. I just knew the kills because I had some barbells and I knew how to do push-ups. So I knew that every day I'd do those. Never knew about like push pull, hypertrophy or anything like that. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that you don't have to start off like fancy, knowing a lot of stuff. You just have to start. What's the quote? It says you don't have to be perfect to start, but you do have to start to be perfect. You get. So the second thing that I've noticed is that you kind of have to look at the deep reason as to why you're doing said habit. Like most of us will be thinking that the smoking is just the smoking in and of itself. The hub, the fapping is just the fapping on it in and of itself. The sleeping with all these girls is just that in and of itself. It's hardly that. Like most of the time, there's a reason behind that, fam. And I don't want to get philosophical with it, but there's always a reason. Like you, fapping might be you wanting like intimacy, wanting love from other people, and have found a shorter cut. Like you found a shortcut, you were like, nah. Instead of approaching women and doing all that, through this I can also get the same thing, but much quicker. But not knowing that this one actually hurts you. And even with smoking, you might be smoking because you know you got a group of friends that you be hanging out with. You always with them when you're doing it. Because there'd be some people that would never smoke alone, but when they're with their friends, they always do that bad habit just for the unity they get. Because now they're with their friends. Hold up. So, so with that, you're just gonna find out, and that one is not really that important because most of the time when you're at that stage, it's hard for you to find out. I mean, you can kind of think, but when we that deep into it, it's kind of hard for you. Because even me, I can think now as to why, like I used to do most of the things I was doing, that I like this and I like that. So in my like, I try to substitute that with this. But then at the moment, had you asked me, I would have been like, I wouldn't really have known how to answer that question. But you gotta look for that too. So the third thing, I said two pillars, but I just said it the one before this one because you gotta know it. But it's not really that important when trying to quit. You gotta know, but it's not really. I never really knew it, but now I'm just knowing it right now. But the third thing, this to me. I feel like this to me is more important than the two. Fam. First things first, you gotta change your mentality. You gotta change your image. The reason why most people can't stop smoking, can't stop said bad habit, is because of their image. You're already identifying yourself as someone who does that bad habit. You see yourself as the smoker. You see yourself as the fapper. And even when someone offers you, let's say you're trying to quit, and someone offers you it, instead of you, okay, your initial response when someone tries to offer you, you'd be like, no, I'm trying to stop smoking. I'm trying to get off of that. I'm trying to get off of that. By doing that, you're still identifying it as someone who does the bad habit. Let me check if this is still recording. Because right now I'm using the back camera. It might stop and I'd be blabbering on, not knowing that it stopped, but it's still recording. So you gotta change your image. Like it's gonna be hard to change other people's perception of you. It might take time of people still seeing you as that naughty kid, that naughty guy, that thief or whatever. But for you, you gotta change yours. Immediately when the age comes, maybe to fab, to do that, to do any bad habit, you gotta be like, no, I don't do that. When you're like, nah, let me go buy maybe a pack of weed, you're like, no, I don't smoke. Don't say I'm trying to stop smoking. Don't say I'm trying to take a break from it. Just say, no, I don't do that. It now changes your self image. It's like you're building a new version of yourself. In fact, one YouTuber kind of defined it as a rubber band. Do I have a rubber band around this? Yeah, I think I have a rubber band. Let me pull up real quick. Hold on. Yeah, so here's our rubber band. You gotta look at your life as this rubber band, basically. Now, everything that's within this rubber band, this is you, this is your personality, your habits, and everything about you is in this rubber band. But now, let's say you're trying to move away from that. You're now trying to do, let's say your personality was that you go to parties, you now smoke, you do all these bad habits, one night stands, everything bad, you be doing it. Now, let's say you're trying to move away from that. Start eating healthy, start doing this, start doing that. No matter how hard you can try stretching it, getting away from it, the rubber band just always goes back to place because this is you. This is your norm. Like this is your norm. But now when you change it, instead of you trying to be the guy, trying to be the smoker, trying to quit, be the guy who does not smoke. Because now if you look at someone who doesn't smoke, doesn't do any bad habits, if you look at maybe, let's look at Christ. maybe this might be a bad example, but let's just look at Christ. Let's say something happened and Christ smoked. I don't really think that would happen, but okay, let's say someone with the same personality as Christ, they end up smoking. Something happened, I don't know how, but maybe they get tempted or anything or something like that. I don't know how. But let's say they end up smoking. On that occasion, they smoke, right? This is them smoking, the rubber band being pulled. Does that mean that now this person is a full-on addict? Now they're gonna stop smoke. They're gonna start smoking. They're gonna do all these bad habits because of that? No, they smoked, and guess what? The rubber band just snaps back in place because they've already created their new norm. They've already built their own image. So for me and for you, most importantly for you, instead of you trying to see yourself as this guy trying to quit all these, trying to do it, no, wipe that slate off completely. Look at yourself as being this guy that does not smoke, that does not party, that does not do all of that. And if it does happen, maybe if you do get tempted one day to go to smoke, just steps back. You just go back to your old self. You just go back to your new self, which is the version of you that does not smoke, the version of you that does not do any bad habits. So that is how you have to look at it. Now, as for other tips, this kind of ties back into the whole rubber band thing. Because as for other tips, you gotta make sure that you leave that group of friends. You see the same people you used to do all those bad habits with, they are also in this rubber band with you. As the harder you try to pull, the harder you try quitting the bad habit, the try you just gonna snap back because they pulling you back. They like, no, what you doing? I mean, oh, you went 2 weeks without smoking. Here's a celebratory joint. That kind of stuff. But now, when you leave those kinds of people, start hanging out with those people. And I'm not even gonna lie to you, most of them won't even hang out with you. Like the people at the upper class, they know like the cons of adding someone to your group. They know like how risky it could be to add the wrong person to your fleet. So they might not even wanna be friends with you. And that's a good thing, because it kind of reminds me of this stage. It was from physical sciences. No, it was, yeah, physical sciences, but chemistry to be exact, where they told us about entropy. Now, entropy is an entropy. No, activated complex. It's called the activated complex. Now, it is kind of like the state, like when old bonds are broken, but new bonds haven't been formed yet. So now the atoms are just in a state where like it's not really water atom, but it's not necessarily hydrogen and oxygen alone anymore. So it's just this goofy stage. So you gotta look at yourself as being in that stage. You're not really fitting into the old group of friends, but you're not really good enough to be in the new group of friends. So you're just in the middle. So you like, and it might even be a long transition because it's not really an overnight thing. So you're gonna be there for a long period of time before the new group of guys start seeing you as, yo, I wanna like mess with that dude. That guy looks like a solid dude. Let's try and add him to a group. It's gonna take a minute till that happens. But you just gotta keep pushing for that. So to summarize, if fam is just starting out, those are the pillars, those are the most important things. And most importantly, above all else, you gotta find Christ. You gotta pray about it. I know in most of my videos I be adding prayer, prayer, prayer. And you all be like, ah, this dude and prayer. But with me, I remember the last day I did like my math. I took the pipe that I used to smoke it with, rolled it up in some tape, stacked on it, and immediately, like I prayed immediately after. I was like, nah, you know what, God, I've been trying to do this on my own, kept on failing, but nah, this time, just take the driver's seat. I've tried alone and I've failed multiple times. For now, you just take control. So with that, do that, fam. Pray about it. Ask God, because alone, hey, they say addiction thrives in isolation. So make sure you get Christ in our life. And yeah, I feel like that's basically it. That's basically my guide. That's what I, if I were to start all over again, no, if I were starting all over again, like from that addict, that is like the routine I take. Those are the steps I would implement. So if you all do the same, pretty sure 9 out of 10, no, 100%, you're gonna make it out. So fam, it is I, the CEO of the Faith Club. Hope to see you on the other side when you're good and all that. But even on this side, I'm still gonna be looking at you, rooting for you, looking at your journey. But till then, CEO of the Faith Club, and as always, stay blessed.